Thank you everyone for being here this evening. I'm excited about the global membership approach. If you weren't able to join us for Build a Team, that link was in the email sent out earlier today. It's probably about a 15-minute video that talks about how that we assemble our team. And then, in my opinion, the most important step in this process, in the global membership approach process, is to build a vision. That is probably a 32 to 35-minute video where it was recorded the last time we got together. And it steps through everything that you need to do to bring everyone together, starting with inviting everyone in your district that has an email to help to build that vision. Go through the PowerPoint, go through the questions, record all the answers, and at the end, ask everyone to write down their name, address, phone number, email address, and are they passionate about new clubs, new members, new service, or leadership development? Because when you get those names in each of those four areas, then we're going to have a group of people to build a plan. And we're going to build 4 mini plans and then combine them for your master district plan. And so where do we start? Well, before we can even start, we have to do a little bit of preparation for our meeting. And that meeting to build a plan probably is a Zoom meeting, because you've already met in person. You've spent a lot of time getting to know one another, and you've talked about your districts, your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, your threats. You've talked about your goals, and you've set some goals along the way. And at this meeting, you need to have prepared all of the ideas that were recorded during your Build a Vision meeting. You need to have your 5-year plans. You need to have what you've accomplished in the last year and what you've accomplished to date this year. All that to share with people as we begin to build a plan. Tonight, we're going to talk about your district review. We're going to talk about action plans. We're going to talk about some resources, and then we're going to talk about some next steps. If you do nothing else tonight, write down lionsclubs.org/global. At that website, you're going to find the PowerPoint to build a team, the PowerPoint to build a vision, the PowerPoint to build a plan, the one that we're using tonight that I've tinkered with just a little bit, and also the one that is Build Success. Those 4 steps, when they're together, will drive your district to greater success. And what does success look like in your district? You'll have to define that. But generically, I would say that a successful district is one that is expanding its footprint of service by engaging more volunteers who are given the tools to become great leaders. And that is an overview of what we are going to do as we move through your year 2024-25, so that your district is going to be better off this time next year than you are today. And then whoever follows you is going to take it to the next level. But we're going to talk about where to find the resources, and that's at lionsclubs.org/global. And you're going to find all the resources in all the 4 action areas that you may ever need and may ever want. If you don't find it there, then you're to tell Director Bob, who will then get with the staff at Lions Clubs International, and they will develop the resources, because our job is to help you to be the best governor in the best district in all of Constitution Area 1, the United States, Bermuda, Bahamas, and the islands of the Caribbean. And I'm going to tell you that CA1 is the best Constitution area in the world. Why? Because we have some of the most passionate Lions available for us. And so this process is 4 steps: build a team, build a vision, build a plan, and build success. When you get back from the Q Center, we already have the Build Success discussion scheduled. It was in the email that you received earlier today. Go ahead and mark it on your calendar, because you're going to be so excited that you're going to want to know, how do we build success? If you've not held your Build a Vision meeting, before you go to the Q Center, pick a date, pick a place, and get someone to begin to invite all the Lions in your district to help you to build that vision. The more people that you help to build the vision, the more buy-in you're going to have. The more buy-in you're going to have, the greater success. And all those people that are going to help you to build a vision are eligible to help you to lead your district this coming year. when we finished up our Build a Vision and we got those 3x5 cards and everyone's names of in what areas they wanted to work in, this slide right here, when it's printed out, you can list those that are interested in new clubs, those that's interested in new members, those that's interested in membership satisfaction, also known as new and exciting service projects and fellowship opportunities, and leadership support, developing our leaders. Because these 4 groups are now going to help you to build a plan of action in each of those 4 areas. And then you and your district governor team are going to merge them into one consolidated plan. And then you're going to begin to put it on a timeline. Because if everyone jumps out in July and contacts the club and starts talking about, I want you to sponsor a club, I want you to sponsor members, and I want you to create a new service project, and who's the next leader from your district is going to be the governor, you know what's going to happen? Those clubs are going to be so discouraged because they're not going to be able to do that all at once that they turn us all off. But if you, as the chief executive officer of the district, along with your district governor team, your global action team, that's your global extension, your global membership, your global service, and global leadership team leaders, put it together in a calendar and say, July is going to be our month that we're going to talk about the Club Excellence Award for next year. And part of that is new members, and we're going to focus on the new membership aspect in July. August, we really are going to begin to talk about membership satisfaction, new service projects, and new fellowship opportunities. We're going to get to September, and we're going to have some leadership training, and we're also going to begin to pull together our team to form that new club, so that when we get to October, we're going to have a new club, and we're going to have our leaders trained across the board. And you begin to put it in an organized manner and meeting with your zone chairs and your region chairs monthly to talk about what you've accomplished in the last 30 days and what you want to accomplish in your next 30 days. And that's build success. And we won't get off in that tonight, but we got our 4 groups. And so then you're going to call the people with the new clubs and you're going to say, can we Zoom on Saturday for an hour, hour and a half and build our plan for new clubs? And you're going to let them select the spots, select the timing, decide what resources they need, and begin to put that to get that portion of your action plan together. And then you're going to do the same for new members, membership satisfaction, and leadership support. We're on a journey of service, and we can never forget that we're the world's largest service organization. Sometimes we get carried away talking about membership, and I'm the most guilty. Out of 1.35 million members around the world, I will tell you, I'm the most guilty to talk about membership and count numbers. But we have to also realize that our members are motivated by service. That's when we're all really joined. And the only way we're going to expand our service impact is to expand the number of hands. But we've got to continue to focus on that service. What service project brought you to Lions Clubs International? What service project keeps you engaged with Lions Clubs International? What service project as a district governor-elect do you want to bring to the forefront of your district? Because it's all about service. And so when we drop back to our Build a Vision, we will have talked about, and you will have filled in and typed in this slide when you begin to build your plan, the top 3 strengths that were identified, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and threats. Because we're going to leverage our strengths. We're going to play to our strengths. We're going to manage our weaknesses and try to improve upon those, but we're not going to solve them all in 1 year. We're going to take advantage of the opportunities that lie in our communities and in our district. And we're going to realize that there's some folks out there, some things that threaten our existence and our success. And we're going to minimize those impacts of those threats. And so as you begin to talk about building these plans, you're going to have a quick mini review with the team that you're dealing with. And you're going to ask them, are there other strengths that was overlooked that we may want to add to this list as we build our plan that we're really going to play off of? Is there some weaknesses? And if you're talking with that new club group, some of them may say, I really want to, but I just don't know how. And we've discovered the weakness is a lack of knowledge. And we're going to have to address that in our plan. How are we going to equip our volunteers with the tools that they need to be successful in the area of new clubs, new members, new and exciting service and fellowship, or leadership development? We're going to talk about some opportunities that's out there, and we're going to add to those opportunities. These are not going to be lengthy discussions. These are just going to move through to, once again, familiarize everyone with what happened during the Build a Vision meeting. And then we're going to talk about threats. And then we're going to look at Mission 1.5 and our membership development goals. And as you had your vision meeting, you took and your district committed to some membership growth targets. You either adopted the membership development goals of Mission 1.5, or you modified them to meet the needs of your district. And those can be found on the, when you sign into your Lions account, you go over to Insights, the top right-hand side is going to say Mission 1.5 goals. Click there, go to your district, look and see what your district is expected to contribute toward the success of our entire association. And then you may have set some additional targets. If you did, that's great. Our team will charter an additional X number of clubs with at least 20 members in the coming year. That's in addition to your Mission 1.5 goal. Our clubs will induct an additional however many members y'all agreed, because whatever your visionary said at your Build a Vision meeting is correct. If they said that we're going to add 5 more, 5 is correct. If they said we're going to add 50 more, 50 is correct. If they said we're going to add 500 more, and that was the consensus of the group, we're going to commit to 500, because we're going back to those visionaries and ask them what they're going to do to help us to reach that goal. And then we're going to have our net gain of members, and how that we're going to change the trend from a negative trend to a positive trend. And it will not happen in 1 year, but it will happen when we consistently use this process year after year, year 3, 4, and 5. You're going to see a tremendous difference in your district. Don't get excited and this year if you don't see a lot of progress. We're looking for stability. Have a bias toward action. Let's see something happen now. You can break that big plan into small steps and take the first step right away. As a district governor-elect, it's your job to continue to motivate your Lions. And if you say, our goal is to have a plus 50 at the end of the year, and we're minus 10, and you focus on the negative, then folks will be discouraged. But at this first month, if you focus on the 5 or 6 clubs that had positive growth, and you highlight them and you praise them and you say, I really believe every club can follow your example. The second year, you're going to see that 5 or 10 that was positive to grow to maybe 15 to 18. And by the end of the year, with enough encouragement, you're going to see 65, 70% of your clubs have grown, and only 25 to 35% have lost members, and you will have gained members. And so we're going to talk about action, and we're going to focus on positive, and we're going to minimize those negatives. And so at lionsclubs.org/global, under Build a Plan, you're going to find some action plan templates that look like this. And as your team meets, then you're going to check whether it's service activities, membership development, leadership development, LCIF, or a custom goal that you and your district visionaries have set. You're going to fill in your goal statement, and then you're going to break it down. And I often say breaking it down is a lot like what Google Maps does for me. If I put in that I want to go to Springfield, Illinois, it's going to tell me every turn to make and how far to go and what the next step is. And as your team begins to build your plan toward building new clubs, for example, then we have to begin to ask ourselves, what's the first thing we need to do? Well, we need to make sure that everyone on our team knows how to build a club. What's the second thing we need to do? Well, we need to make sure that we have all the resources at hand. Do we have membership applications? Have we talked to the Chamber of Commerce? And all these different steps are written down along with the responsible party, what is required as far as team members or technology or funding, what date is going to begin and what date is going to finish, and how you're going to assess your success and what alterations need to be made as you go along. This form will lead you toward greater success as you begin to build your plan for each of these areas. And some of the areas will have multiple action plans. If you're going to form 2 clubs, then you're going to have the same action plans. You're going to have different dates. And your goal is, I'm going to form a club in city XYZ by October 30th. I'm going to form a club in city ABC by February 1st. I'm going to form a club in any town by June 30th. And so you're going to have different plans of action. And although the steps may be similar in that one area. And so what objective is the goal to reach? What is your goal statement, your actions? We've talked about those, your assessment. And so the first one that you're going to start working on is new clubs. And as you start working on new clubs, this is a sample of what it might look like. By the end of this year, our team will charter an additional 1 new club with at least 20 members. We're going to create a club extension team. We're going to select a location. We're going to choose a theme for the new club based upon the needs of that local community. And we're going to promote new club on social media and other online platforms. A lot of districts are starting a Facebook page for that new club even before the new club exists, and starts posting what Lions Clubs International is doing to build the excitement in the community. And then you see who's responsible. You take and list your resource you need, the beginning date and the end date. It's really a discussion, and there's someone in your district that is very talented in being a project manager that loves doing this kind of stuff. And we have to identify them and put them on the team, and then let them be in charge of each of the areas and work through just simply following the plan. Because if I follow Google, I'm going to get to the goal that I told it I want to reach. Then new members, similar situation. By the end of the year, our club will induct an additional 10 new members into existing clubs. And you're going to figure out how you're going to do that. Schedule a virtual meeting with zone chairs to review the recruitment resources. If you've not looked at the membership growth event toolbox that's at lionsclubs.org, you need to look at it. It's a 6-week planning guide that if a club follows it, doesn't deviate, they will bring in anywhere from 3 to 5 new members consistently every 6 months using the membership growth event toolbox. There's a club in Pooler, Georgia that used it and brought in 15 new members in one membership event. There's a club in Gulf Shores, Alabama that consistently brings in 5 to 6 new members every 6 months because they bring them in. Do all the members stay? They don't. But you know what? Everybody that joins the military and goes through basic training doesn't stay and retire either. Some of them just finish their first commitment of 2 or 3 or 4 years, and they're out and they're back into society, and they're still doing great things as veterans. But some are lifetimers, and we're lifetimers. But we cannot be discouraged that some only pass our way and share their talents for a short period of time. Because if you look at church, you look at the military, you look at your employer, everyone is not committed for the long haul, but everyone is committed for the short haul. And that short time period, we can do some mighty things with some great members who will roll up their sleeves and work with us for 3 to 5 years. And if we get them really engaged, they may become lifetimers, but we're not looking to anyone to make a lifetime commitment. We just want them to join. We want them to serve with us. We want them to enjoy the fellowship with us and love us, to stay a part of our family forever. We're going to schedule those virtual meetings with zone chairs. We're going to review the resources that are available, and we're going to begin to teach clubs how to bring members in, how to orientate their members, how to engage their members, how to develop membership, how to start a branch with a particular focus within their community. There may be 5 people that want to come together and do nothing but Lions Quest for at-risk youth in your community. There may be 5 people that want to come together and do nothing more than be friends of the library and to help the library to raise funds and to do the summer reading program. There may be some in your club that want to join and just be a branch that adopts a classroom and goes and reads books to the first graders and the kindergarten students, that goes and helps them with their different parties and their different functions. And that's okay. Whatever these branches and these pods of members want to do, bring them in and let them be their own little branch, focusing on what they can do. A good club, in my opinion, has 3 types of individuals. One that has the time to plan and organize events. They have time to go to meetings. The second group is those that have the talent to implement the plans and the projects. They have the talent to come and to flip pancakes if it's a fundraiser. They have the talent to go and to read and engage with kindergarten and first grade students. They have the talent to go into schools to do vision screenings. And then the third group, which you may never see at a service project and you may never see at a meeting, but still vitally important to our association, is those who have the treasure. So you have some that have time, you have some that have talent, and you have some that have treasure, the monetary means to support what we do and to sponsor events. They too are important, although they may never eat with us and they may never serve with us, but they will write a check to support us. And we've got to value every member and begin to educate clubs to the fact that it's much more than a meeting once a week, every other week, once a month. It's about how that we all use our talents to contribute to our global success, and that we've got to value everyone for what that they can contribute, whether it's time, talent, or treasure to our success. And so you talk through with group 2 the membership plan, and you let them decide how we're going to get clubs excited about membership, how we're going to teach them to bring members in their club, how we're going to teach them to orientate those members. Having done that, you're going to then schedule a meeting with those that are interested in Focus Area 3, new and exciting service opportunities and fellowship opportunities. And as you begin to do that, by the end of the line year, our district will increase our net gain goal by 3 members or whatever it is. We're going to reduce the number of people who drop, and we're going to grow our association by having less folks leave out the back door. And how are we going to do that? We're going to review the membership satisfaction guide in this particular example, and we're going to schedule meetings with Focus Area 3 members on a regular basis, and they're going to be talking with clubs about what they can do to have a new service project or a new fellowship opportunity. We're going to talk about our zone chairs, and our zone meetings are beginning to become social events where everyone's invited and they learn to love one another and work together moving forward. And we're going to review that membership service satisfaction with a working group of members. We're going to schedule meetings with club leaders to review the membership growth satisfaction or the membership satisfaction guide. We're going to begin to talk about Christmas parties and Valentine's Day parties, the importance of socialization as well as service. We're going to begin to talk about a new service project that really will excite our members. And where do we find that? We find that by talking with our members. Why did you join? What would you really wish that we do that we're not doing? And let them tell the club officers, and then let's put a committee together and do it. The best thing that's ever happened to my club in the last 15 months is when we took and moved Lions Quest into our court system to help juvenile who were on probation, to give them the skills that they needed that they weren't getting at home. Because what my club did then is we realized that a lot of these young people needed community service and they didn't know where to get it. And why not let them serve alongside us? And now we are helping our juveniles who are on probation that's going through the Lions Quest program to get their community service hours. So when we finish the 16 lessons, they have their community service done, they got their Lions Quest done, and they're off for probation. And I can tell you that we've graduated 60 in the last 15 months, and only one of them has picked up a new charge and went back to see the judge. 59 have bought into the social emotional learning concepts that we've shared, and they are appreciative of what the Lions do. And we have some who come back now that they don't need community service and still want to help us to do things, and we continue to welcome them and mentor them. Find something that your members are passionate about and implement it, and you will, in fact, be able to grow your association one club at a time and change the world one smile at a time. And finally, we're going to talk with this area 4, and we're going to talk with them last because each of the first 3 areas have built in their plan that they really need some support or some training or equipping in some area. And so you're going to have probably 3 or 4 different mini plans in the area of leadership development. And you're going to have one that focuses on how we're going to develop leaders to form clubs, how we're going to educate and edify and encourage clubs to bring in new members, how we're going to take and educate and encourage Lions clubs in our district to start new service projects and increase their fellowship. And then finally, we're going to have some leadership development goals. How are we going to develop our zone chairs so they're better equipped to serve as region chairs? How are we going to develop our region chairs so that one of them will want to be our next vice district governor? How are we going to work with our vice district governors so they're the best district governor that we've ever had? And those are the kind of plans that you're beginning to put together. And we're going to put them all then in one big bundle. We're going to share them with all the clubs, and we're going to focus on them every time that we get together. When we talk about building success, I'm going to tell you then, but I'm going to tell you now, and as a sneak preview, every time you send out an email, every time you do a newsletter, your goals should be there, and your progress to date should be there, and what you want to accomplish in the next 30 days should all be in a chart so that every Lion in your district knows that this is where we're headed. Because when we all step off in the same direction at the same time, we are going to do some amazing things across North America, and across Constitution Area 1. And so you're going to take those 4 plans, put them together. You're going to organize them on a calendar, and you're going to begin to communicate those to everyone. It's all about strategic planning, ensuring that everyone contributes. Everyone's ideas are important. We're going to be positive and no negative comments. We're going to encourage wild ideas and challenge ourselves to step up and do more than we ever thought we could do before. We're going to be creative and think way outside the box. As a matter of fact, let's just throw away the box. We're just going to be creative. And we're going to combine and improve ideas as the groups come together and as we begin to build these plans. And so you're going to have all the timing for these 4 are all coordinated. New clubs, new members, membership satisfaction, leadership support. And we're going to bring them all together. And every time we have a cabinet meeting, number 1, your global extension team leader is going to talk about what we're doing with new clubs. Your new members, which is your global membership team leader, is going to talk about our goals and our progress with new members. Membership satisfaction is your global service team leader. And they're going to talk about your goals and how that they're impacting the membership satisfaction by having new and exciting projects and new and exciting fellowship. And your leadership support, your global leadership team is going to be talking about all the opportunities, all the resources that we have to work together. Your every cabinet meeting, every newsletter, these 4 should be given some time and some space to communicate. Unless commitment is made, there's only going to be promises and hopes, and there's going to be no plans. But I believe that you as a district governor-elect are in fact committed to being the best district governor that your district's ever had. And we're going to leave our promises behind, and we're going to begin to roll up our sleeves, and we're going to make plans, and we're going to have actions. We're back to these 4 groups, and these 4 groups are going to stay together through the entire year to not only build the plan, but to begin to implement the plan so we find greater levels of success. But you're not on your own. You've got your constitutional area leader, Pat Vanette. You've got your area leader, director, Bob Block. You've got your multiple district leaders. You've got your district leaders, all available to help your club and to help you as a district governor to find greater success. But you've also got your past international officers. You've got your existing committees. You've got all of your zone chairs, your certified guiding lions, your club leadership, even every lion in the district, when they are engaged in building the plan, will roll up their sleeves and help us find greater success. There's plenty of resources, a lot of resources, lionsclubs.org/global. In the PowerPoint, you already got the QR codes. You can go right to them. You got resources for getting started, your new club development guide and your Lions Learn Center, your Hello brochures, all of those are there, including some videos that you can use. Also, then revitalizing clubs with new members. You've got resources to get you started and some potential members that are identified there. All of this is available to you and all of these different links. We want you to go to them. We want you to use them as you build your plan. Your service ideas and your fellowship ideas are available to you, and use them, review them with your team that's building the plan for remotivating members with new fellowship and exciting service. And then you're supporting district and club leaders. You got the Learn Center, you got your ebooks, and you've got your zone chair and your region chair and your achievement certificates. Use them, brag on people, and continue to assist folks in seeing the vision for a better tomorrow that your visionaries put together during your Build a Vision meeting. You got marketing resources that are available, all of it at lionsclubs.org, and available for you to use at no cost as we change the lives of people in your district. You got LCIF funding sources. Look at those grants available. Go ahead and ask yourselves which one help us to reach our goals and apply for them. That money is free for the taking, and I want you to take advantage of that as we move forward. And so everything's come together. We've organized into 4 groups. We've added some leaders and resources and budget along the way. We have a spokesperson from each group who is going to be the leader of that group. And as a group, we have finalized the draft of our district plan, and it's time that we begin to communicate it. We're going to take and meet with our working groups to complete the action plan. We're going to review the sample action plan booklet. We're going to share our plans for feedback to everyone in the district. And then we're going to begin to build success. And that's where we're going to focus as we move forward. And after you all get back from the Q Center, we're going to focus on build success and what success looks like. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and it's time for questions, comments, and concerns. If I haven't put everybody to sleep.
I do have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned member satisfaction.
Mhm.
So can you elaborate on that, please?
I can. A member that is satisfied with their experience with Lions Clubs International is going to continue to show up and show out and pay their dues and be part of our family. And so what we need to do is ask ourselves, when we look at our club, there's some members that haven't showed up in a while. How do we re-engage them? How do we keep them satisfied? And what is it that they joined to do that we're not doing that we should do in order to get them there? I'm going to tell you, I've got one member of my club that if we went and talked and asked, are you satisfied? He would say, yes, because I sponsor this particular event for us, and I joined to sponsor that particular event. That's all I want to do. he's a satisfied member, and he'll always be around as long as we have that event and we let him write the check and we recognize him for his sponsorship. But I also have members who have wandered away that if I go and talk with them and I say, what do you think about the Lions Club? It's okay. You know, you were real excited when you joined. I recall when you joined. And what is it that you really wanted to do that we're not doing? And he or she says, you know, I joined because y'all were talking about doing diabetic kits. And we've not done that in 3 or 4 years. And I'm not really interested in anything except diabetic kits. Well, when I hear that as a club leader, my job is to go back and ask the board of directors and the members, how much money can we allocate for diabetic kits? $300. Okay. And I go back to the member and I say, we got $300 in the budget for diabetic kits. Would you come back and head that project up for us? Because you know how it's supposed to be done. And all of a sudden we've matched a need with their interest. And we've got another member coming and planning and organizing things and engaged. That's membership satisfaction. Also, as we talk about new members, and I can recall we needed, and it talked about having some community raised bed gardens. And we had the money to do it. But as we sat around the table that night, everyone said, I think it's a great idea. I'd support it, but I don't have time to do it. No one had time to do it, but everybody wanted to do it. We went out into our community and we found Mr. Tree Hugger. Every community's got one, right? Mm-hmm. We took him to lunch. Some of the officers took him to lunch and said, Mr. Tree Hugger, this is what we want to accomplish. We don't have the time and the energy to head it up, but we have time to help. And we were hoping that you would consider joining our club to head up this one project. And we're going to vote on at our next meeting. And I think that there'll be about $500 added to the budget for this. Would you consider joining our club? And he says, I might. Well, here's an application, fill it out. Our dues are $100 a year. Bring the application and dues for $100. We'll induct you into the meeting so you can make the motion to add $500 to the budget for the raised beds. And then we're going to let you chair that project because it's something that you're very passionate about in the community, and you're known in the community for your passion for the environment and helping folks that are hungry in our community. You know what happened the next time our club met? 5 minutes beforehand, he rode his bicycle up because he doesn't use gas to get across town. That destroys the environment. But he rode his bicycle, and he still rides his bicycle. Some 4 years later, he come in with his application and check, and he says, I want to join. And then when we swore him in, and he says, now when do I get to make the motion? We said, hang on, that's the second thing on the agenda here. And when we got to it, he made the motion. We'd already agreed $500. We all approved it. He took on the project. That year, we served over 100 senior citizens by delivering tomatoes and okra to their senior citizen home and feeding them throughout the summer because we took and matched a passion and a purpose of Lions Together. That's membership satisfaction. We don't do any raised gardens anymore, but this particular member has found new passions, and it continues to serve in areas that it promotes the environment that we still want to do. Did that answer your question, Lion Patel?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. I sometimes I get short questions and long answers. This is the attorney in me. Other questions, comments, concerns?
I think my feeling is, Jerome, is that the governors need to know that this is a team project and not an individual building these activities together, putting the plans together. You want to build it as a team so you get everybody to buy into it. And, you know, by saying that, I'm saying that you take everybody from your past sister governors down to Joe Lyon. They're all part of this team now, and that's what the whole idea of the membership growth is not only bringing new members in, but also keeping them happy. If you don't keep your members happy, they're going to go out the back door. They won't talk to you and tell you why they're leaving. And that's the hard part, is trying to figure that out. But to keep them happy, you may have to switch things around. Our club is going through a transition, being 85 years old. We're in the process of converting over to the younger people from the older ones. I went in almost 50 years ago as one of the younger Lions in my club.
Mhm.
And I have ridden through all the changes. And by bringing in the new ladies, which are coming into our club under the age of 40, that are running our club now, us old guys are sitting back looking, and they're looking at me. And I said, just enjoy it, because this is how our club is going to go for another 40 years. And you have to, go back to the satisfaction. You have to see what is driving that club, driving your members to stay there. Some like meetings, some don't like meetings. Our club, we went from 3 meetings a month. We're down to 1 general meeting a month, but we do a social every 3 months where we invite everybody to come, plus the community. So I think that's something else you need to look at, is clubs have to socialize and have some fun as well, along with the service. And if you have a social, invite outsiders to come into it. A good example we have in our multiple 1A is the Filipino Lions. They have their installation dinner, and about 80% of them are non-line members, but they like to come to dance and have a good time. So, I mean, that's something you have to look at, is what in that community or in your area is attractive for people to come in and socialize as well. Because that's today is what I see as membership, is more of the social part of it in the service, and not the ones attending the meetings all the time. So, I mean, you have to be flexible on that meeting attendance, because that's always one thing that has got a lot of clubs in trouble in the past, because if you miss 3 meetings in a row, they just dropped you. They didn't care if you're a good member or not. You just couldn't meet, couldn't be there for those meetings for some whatever reason. So, I mean, I think you have to, kind of balance your club activities and your district activities between serving and also having fun doing it.
Absolutely. And after they get back from the Q Center, and after we finish Build a Success, the global membership approach has been adapted to the club level too. And area leader Chris Gunstrom from Texas, and our immediate past council chair, Michelle Mosley, and Richard Stevenson, a former area leader, worked very closely with Jody Brewmeister. And any of the 4 of them would be a great guest at your meetings that you have, Bob, to talk about how to take the global membership approach to your clubs, and in a club meeting or 2 to breathe some new life into those clubs. The global membership approach, build a team, build a vision, build a plan, build success, can be used at every club meeting, for every service project, for every club, for every zone, and should be used and adapted in the right way. I hope that something has been said tonight that triggered your excitement, because I get excited every time I talk about this process. And I look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks after the Q Center, so that we can talk about how to build success, because those in this area, 1E, I believe, I believe that your district governor elects are going to be some of the most successful in 24-25. Thank you so very much for letting me be with you this evening. I'm going to end the recording, and we're going to continue to work together and make sure that we find greater success.